Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Sunrise coming to you from Channel Television in Lagos. The date was June 12. The year was 1993. That was the day that the country was on the brink of transiting from military rule characterized by oppression, intimidation, cajoling of the masses, excessive harassment of the media, and dictatorship. Every Nigerian in 1993 explored the possibility of democracy and believed that the administration of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida would deliver its promise. The two-party system that emerged, the National Republican Convention and the Social Democratic Party, SDP, were competitive and formidable. Prior to the elections, the two presidential candidates, Alhaji Bashir Tofa of the NRC and business mogul MKO Abiola of the SDP, engaged in a series of interesting debates. Do I remember those debates? We have in the studio with us in Lagos, social commentator, Mr. Biodun Shoumi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Long time runaway. And the legal practitioner, Liboros Oshoma, you have been away for a long time as well.
Good morning. I'm here now.
Both of you, welcome back. And from Abuja, we have a leadership and governance consultant, Oke Ikechukwu. Morning, Oke.
Good morning, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you very much for joining us. Now, Mr. Shoumi, in the course of this week, we woke up and we heard that June 12 had been declared Democracy Day. And MKO Abiola, among others, was going to be honored with the GCFR, posthumous award. You were one of those, in those days, who...
In the trenches.
who fought for our democracy. What feelings went through you, what thoughts went through your mind 25 years on?
Believe me, I was so excited till now. For me, it's still beyond belief that eventually we'll get to this stage. We didn't need to delay it for such a long time. It's common sense that should have happened. So many people had opportunities. 3 presidents, former presidents, they had opportunities to do it. They chose not to do it. It eventually came from an unlikely corner, Buhari, who in any case even served in the Abacha's regime that tried...
The oppressive
Abacha's regime that tried to ensure that June 12th was not actualized. But along the line, for reasons best known to God, the thing was delayed and now it has been actualized. I must, thank Mr. President for doing that. It's a huge emotional issue for so many people who fought the military at that point. And for me, it's putting a closure, to the issue of June 12th. In one sense, in the sense that Buhari cannot do more than what he has done. He is not in a position to pronounce Abiola as the winner of the election. It's never done by a president, it's done by the Electoral Commission.
Yes.
He has gone as far as awarding the highest honor, which is the GCFR, and some people have some concerns about King Gigbe being awarded, but you cannot make omelette without breaking the egg. You cannot have Abiola being honored and recognized in such a way without ignoring King Gigbe. Yeah. The argument about whether he has abandoned the mandate or he later abandoned it or not, it's another sophistry. But the truth of the matter is, what Buhari is doing, in my view, is recognizing the ideals and the lessons of June 12. And you can, particularly at a point in time when we are faced with serious national issues, people have gone, leaders must go back into the past. Where did we start? How did we get to where we are now? Today, the country is threatened, the security of the country is threatened, the unity is threatened. We have more religious problems than ever before. But don't forget, June 12th one of the lessons of June 12 is religious harmony. People could not believe it that a Muslim ticket will win an election. And religion was not even an issue for us. Both traditional religion believers, Muslim and Christians, all voted because Abiola had a larger, constituency. He reached out, he was a philanthropist and all that. So we have lessons to learn, even at a point in time in our history where we have religious intolerance in the country. So for the president to go back into history and then do that political masterstroke, for me, I will have to thank Mr. President for that.
Okay. For those of us who went out and lined up in 1993, I mean, it's like you say, it now gives us closure because it was the first time that I voted in an election in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Because I was convinced from the quality of the debates that we saw on TV, which helped most of us make up our minds, we felt that we were doing the best by our conscience and by our nation. So we went out and we actually lined up. And if you recall, option A4, you didn't only vote, you just didn't vote and go back home. You stood there, and you waited to be counted. And the results were announced for everybody to hear. So it gave us closure. Now, Liboras, some people are saying that there is more to this than meets the eye. They say that the president wants to use this to trade, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because 2019 is just around the corner.
Yeah, you see, for me, politicians will always play politics. So if the president is using it to trade, so be it. Because others had the opportunity to trade with it, but they missed it. And so, two things here. When fire dies, it covers its face with ashes. But when plantain or banana dies, it springs forth offspring. And so, those that killed, the historical aspect of June 12, there are two parts of June 12. That's where I disagree with Biodun a little bit, that this is the best that can be done. This is the historical part of it. There's an ideological part of June 12 that we have not touched. He tried talking about it. And so, yes, the president saw this as an opportunity. As a politician, he latched onto it. Other politicians refused to latch onto it, to trade with it. So he fought. And now, fantastic. The president had recognized the historical, events around June 12. Those that tried to kill it forget that someday, because the moment they did that, it brought forth an ideology. Those ideology are what Biodun was talking about religion tolerance, talking about eradication of poverty, because then you had a Muslim ticket and it wasn't an issue. Talking about this north and south imbalance. Everybody, Abiola got votes from quarters where today, ordinarily, you won't get votes from.
In his
state. He defeated him in his state. So at that time also, you had people who had, social ideology leaning towards the SDP and the Republican leaning towards the NRC. So these are the ideologies that June 12 brought forth. And now we have taken a step, the government have taken a step by recognizing the history of June 12 and say, look, we cannot be enjoying democracy today without the benefit of going back to where we missed it, to recognizing that date, that we all came together, just like you. That was my first, election also, the first time I voted, because I listened to most of the debates. I can still remember vividly some of Abiola's quotes. I also remember in that debate that Tofa didn't know the price of PMS.